right, Cassie, he's debating dumping her because of the smell of her apartment.
Yeah, it sounds so dumb, but hear him out. My friend's dating a girl, and they've been on a couple of dates, and this past one, I think it was like the fourth date, he went back to her apartment, and he had always told me that she smelled really flowery and pretty, and he kind of commented it, like, it was a weird thing to bring up, and I'm like, after his first date, but I'm like, that's cool, like, you're just describing the date and all your senses and experiences, and after this date, he came back and he's like, Cass, I don't think I can date this girl. I think I got to break it off. And I'm like, why? You guys like bonded, you gelled. You said the vibes are good. You've been on 4 dates. So I know like you're vibing. And he's like, her apartment is so overpowering with perfume and flowery smell and Glade plugins and the whole 9 yards. He's like, I couldn't stand to be in there for more than 10 minutes. He's like, I got all bunged up. Like it just, my clothes smelled like it for days. I had to wash my clothes twice to get the smell out of her apartment. And he's like, I just can't. I don't like it. And he's like, I don't want it to be a deal breaker, but how can I go to someone and be like, hey, we've been on 4 dates. I really like you, but your place smells too much like a Bed Bath & Beyond or a Bath & Body Works. Make it stop. And so he's considering, he's like, I don't really know what to do. I like her, but I can't go to her place and I can't be around all that smell.
Mo, you ever date a woman whose smell was overpowering and not even like a rancid smell, but just either too much perfume or too many candles in the apartment?
Not that I can remember.
No?
No, I don't think so. But if I were in his situation, I would say something.
Yeah, that's okay. That's because I have a very sensitive nose. I can't smell anything right now because I'm so stopped up. But typically, I don't. I've established with Abby, I prefer to stink. I don't wear perfume. My deodorant is extremely mild. And there's only one kind of candle I will allow to be lit in my home, and that is the one from Anthropology Volcano.
Yeah.
That is the only candle that I can tolerate. Anything that's overly scented, I get a headache from it. So if you've dated a woman and you've only gone on 4 dates, can you say something, or does that make you the weirdo?
Yeah, if some guy is coming to me after 4 dates and being like, your apartment smells terrible, I'm being like, all right, weirdo, well, you don't have to date me. I think maybe it could be something along the lines of like, if you've been dating for a while and it's gotten to the point where you guys have a rapport where he can be like, dude, like, why do you use so many Glade plugins? I feel like that's more appropriate. 4 dates, I'm like, just go back to your place, dude. Like, you don't need to go to hers.
I would say something only because if he's already thinking about ditching, then he really doesn't lose anything. So if you go to her and you say something and she kind of reacts like Abby did, you was thinking about ditching anyway, right?
That's fair.
If she actually is willing to work with you, which I don't see happening, but it could happen, then maybe you have more of a reason to stay.
Can you imagine her choosing her Glade plugins over True Love? It's like, this could be the one, and she's like, no, sir, I need my clean linen Glade plugins.
It's so funny how people do become nose blind. Like, I guess she walks into her house, and to her, it's not that overpowering just because her senses have just gotten so used to it.
And whereas I'm like you, Kristen, I don't do a lot of scents. I can smell people if like we're on the same outside path. I'm like, ooh, that's a cloud of gay. You just did laundry. Like I can smell it. But can you imagine though? Like it's her house. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I understand and I'm totally with you, but you can't ask someone to change their sanctuary and their space and their house to accommodate you. It just feels wrong.
Invasive, Tommy.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard the thing, and I'm looking at it, it's from Science Daily from 2008, Tel Aviv University. Wearing too much perfume may indicate depression.
Where did you, from 2008?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Like overcompensating?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about women who wear too much perfume are losing their sense of smell, but due to depression.
Oh, because when you're depressed, I think all of your senses kind of lower a little bit. Like you ride that middle. Because being depressed doesn't always mean sad. It can just mean like a loss of like vibrancy and joy for life.
I don't know about you guys. I've gotten in the elevator here at the radio station, and I'll smell like a lingering thing. I was like, oh,
sorry, that's my bad.
Somebody was depressed on the elevator.
Again, Tommy, as we spoke earlier, correlation is not causation. No, just because every person you run into, no, that is
Tel Aviv.
That is BS.
Dude, I just farted in the elevator. I'm sorry, you got on after me.
Yeah. Now you got me. Since you brought that up about your home being your sanctuary,
And he likes her though. Like, and that's
Then
the
don't
thing.
go to her place. Have her come over to your place.
That's why I think it's more appropriate for like later in the relationship, because if it gets to the point where like you go out on a date night, you go back to her place and you're spending a lot of time there, even though that's still her place, he's spending like not just as much time there, but a good amount to where it'd be kind of like, hey, like it's starting to make my head hurt.
Let me ask you this then, Abby. So let's say you did invite a guy back to your apartment. You've been dating for a while. And then every time you invite him back again, he finds some way to like just invite you over instead and never comes to your place. Is that a red flag for you though?
That would make me feel weird. I'm like, why can't we go back to my place? Your place is probably disgusting because you're a 25-year-old man. That would be weird if he would never want to go back to mine.
But then if he told you, hey, it's just, I really like you. It's just the Glade plugins or whatever. Your perfume is overpowering at your apartment. Do you feel offended, or are you glad that he's continued to date you and just tried to make it work?
It would hurt my feelings, and then I'd probably go on Amazon and buy some clean linen, like scentless candles to fix it.
All right. So I should tell him he hasn't made a decision yet. So I should say he should say nothing, keep dating her to see where it goes. And then if this issue ever comes up, he can then bring it up.
Mo and I are team say something.
I would say something.
Yeah.
Well, that's not helpful. We're split now. All right. I'm
Welcome
going
to the Bert
send him
Show.
the break. Yeah.
The Bert Show.
So, first, thanks for watching. Second, you like what you just watched? That just scratches the surface. Get The Bert Show on any podcast platform. We're so good.